Hey world! Before we start, let me just take care of the two things that are making you guys go, oh my god! One, my shirt is not a solid color. You know, there's really not a whole lot I have to say about that. I just didn't feel like wearing a solid color shirt today. Deal with it! And number two, you can see a whole lot more of my room. That is because I purchased a wide-angle lens. For the sake of comparison, with the wide-angle lens, and without the wide-angle lens. Personally, I really dig the wide-angle look. You can see me all the way over here! So anyway, the real reason I'm here today is to give you guys the 789 Talkity Talk. Now, I understand that we're sort of beating a dead horse here. I mean, if you keep up with YouTube, you know that there have been about a bajillion videos that have come out this last week about the 789 gathering. And yeah, last week's DBU was all about 789, but I still haven't had a chance to really just talk about it. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. 789 was incredible. I just realized that some of you probably don't even know what 789 is, so let me explain that first. 789 was an event that took place in New York City last week on July 8th, 2009. Actually, it went from July 8th to July 11th, but that's just a technicality. At this event, YouTubers came from all around the world and they gathered. Really, it's a pretty simple concept. So anyway, I went into this whole gathering thing not knowing what to expect at all. I had this sort of weird fear that it was just gonna be a bizarrely awkward experience and that everyone would be crowded around the really popular YouTubers and I would just be, you know, hanging out in the woodwork like, hey, I'm Dan Brown. But it was nothing like that. When I was on my way to the very first gathering in Columbus Circle on 789, as soon as people could see me, I heard people going, Dan Brown! That blew my mind. It was so cool to actually meet face-to-face people who watch my videos. And I like to think that it was also pretty cool for those people to be able to meet me. It was also really freaking cool for me to be able to meet face-to-face other YouTubers that I watch and admire. I'm just gonna name drop here off the top of my head. Rhett and Link, Shay Carl, Is It a Good Idea to Microwave This, Mitchell Davis, Kev Jumba, Dave Days, Michael Buckley, Household Hacker, Mystery Guitar Man. Those are just off the top of my head some of the bigger names who were there. And what's so cool about it is even though all these people have these huge internet followings, they're still just normal people. Everyone that I talked to was just completely down to earth and completely awesome. And whenever I went up to introduce myself to someone whose videos I've been watching for a while, it was just sort of bizarre. There's something I would like to call the YouTube effect. YouTube is a very personal medium. For example, right now, you're in my bedroom and I'm looking right at you, talking right to you. You and I both know that that's not literally true, but it still is sort of true. When one watches a vlogger's vlogs for any extended period of time, you begin to kind of know them as a person, even though you've never met them in real life. So, for example, when the guys from Is It a Good Idea to Microwave This showed up, even though I've never met them in real life, it was just sort of like, hey Jory, what's going on? Long time no see. That's pretty cool. So, you know, the gathering wasn't actually awkward at all. It was really relaxed. And being comfortable around people is how really strong friendships are made. And let me tell you, in New York City, I made friends that I will keep for the rest of my life. Real quick, let me give a shout out to my YouTube besties. Nanaloo, Catrific, Live Lava Live, Ray William Johnson, Mika Kitty, and John Jory and Riley over at JPizzle1122. Those are the people I spent the most time with at 789. I also met lots and lots of other people, but they're the ones that I stayed up until 8:30 in the morning with talking about life. It was so great being able to be with people who understand what I do. You know, normally when I meet someone new, I spend the whole time explaining what it is that I do. So, what exactly do you do? Well, I'm a YouTube partner. I make videos and I put them on the internet. And so, like, they pay you? Rather than going through that whole rigmarole, I could just talk to these people about the nuances of being a YouTube partner. I mean, it's the stuff I've always wanted to talk about, but I've never had anyone to talk about it with. 789 was such a good experience in every possible way. I could ramble for even longer, but again, so I'll just end by saying this. 789 was one of the best experiences of my life, and if you ever have the chance to go to a gathering, then go to the gathering! You won't regret it. Until next time, I'm Dan Brown, and I am out! If you like what you just saw, if Dan put you in a state of awe, subscribe to him and click the orange button. It really means something. If you do that, that'd be really cool.